The Boys of Summer, Matt Russell, Michael Carayannis, the final week of the Boys of Summer before Andrew Voss and Greg Alexander. Vossi and Brandy, they're back next Monday. SEN 1170, your home of sport. Today, talking about Travis Head and Annabelle Sutherland. Big winners last night at the Allan Border Medal. Names on rugby league jerseys garnering quite the response. Reece Walsh was tipped to go highest seller by Michael Carayannis. Latrell Mitchell getting plenty of nominations as well. And your crystal ball segment, Michael, getting predictions, headline predictions for the teams, getting a great response when it comes to your karaoke performance. Your first song of the season will also be your last ever, because this one from Carl of Cronulla sums it up. This is spewioke. So, Ja Rule, not a great landing spot for our audience. But let's get to a special guest. He's bound for another very busy season, starting in Las Vegas. Part of the 4 teams travelling over there. Cam George, Warriors CEO, good morning and welcome to the Boys of Summer.
Morning, gents. Great to join you. Sunny day here in Auckland, and no doubt not as hot as Australia, but enjoying life over here.
Yeah, Cam, thanks for joining us. What's a lot to unpack with you guys at the moment, but let's start with Vegas. How are plans going? When do you guys fly over there, and what's your routine, I guess, to prepare for this round 1 clash?
Yeah, it's an interesting approach. I have a very different view on travel agents now. The process to get to here has been huge, and everyone's played a major part in that. But it's really only the start of it once you land, because you got to cross your T's, dot your I's. You're in a market that you don't really know that well, so. In Australia, when we travel there, we have a lot of people we can contact to get help. And in America, it's a little bit different naturally. So we've had people travel over there, pretty well do a dry run for a week of where we're training, staying and the likes. And we've got it down pat as best we can. So it's now executing it. And there's a lot of plans that go in place to make sure we get it right, because we're going there to win a game of footy and we don't want to have any excuses.
And Cam, some questions on the text line flowing in as we advertised your appearance this morning. This one from Kiwi Chris. Are you worried about the travel to Vegas and then travel back to Australia affecting the Warriors physically, given what happened to the New Zealand Breakers in the NBL, who travelled to the USA for pre-season games and then went from first to last in a hurry? So how are you going to handle the travel burden from a Warriors perspective?
A couple of things to that question. It's a good question, and look, you really don't know. All you do is prepare the best you can to recover, from the travel. If there's one club that is used to travelling, it is us, along with probably North Queensland. We do so many miles during the year. We have a really good system on return to home. We have that break, obviously, when everyone else plays the official round 1 of the Telstra Premiership, but it's something that we've got a plan in place. But the reality is, you're not going to know. All we can do is make sure we do the best thing we can by our players and staff to refresh them on return. But I'm not overly concerned. Look, there's 3 other teams doing it, and we just got to get on with it. It's life. It's an opportunity we want to take up, and we're looking forward to it. We've got great plans to try and combat all those concerns.
When do you get over there, and will you be predominantly based in Vegas?
Yeah, so we considered the options of staying elsewhere and then coming into Vegas later in the week and the likes, but ultimately we decided to just go straight to Vegas. So we fly out on the 22nd, Saturday the 22nd, obviously arrive on the 22nd, and we're there for the whole week. So we've got have a familiar training facility all week, gyms, a lot. So we're there all week, and we're looking forward to that.
A real feature of your season in 2024, Cam, was your clean sweep sellout record. Is there a big fan base that you know of going from New Zealand to Vegas? Yeah,
we've got a lot of fans travelling up. I think last time I checked, we had the most tickets sold from a New Zealand Warriors perspective. So I'm sure there's more and more that live domestically over in America that will join us. It's amazing. I think we'll have some good support. And I know, we put an Air New Zealand charter flight on, and it sold out in 17 minutes. So it's truly exciting for our fans, and it's a great experience that we'll get to share with them.
17 minutes, wow. And what about back home during the regular season? What are the membership numbers, and what is the likelihood of so many sellouts again, given that 2024 wasn't as successful on the field as 2023 was, that helped spark that great fan reception last year?
Yeah, good point. All of our numbers are, on average, probably 10 to 15% up year on year through corporates, membership, and the likes. So we've got a really good foundation now of good, solid support. We're all but sold out of our corporates, apart from a few tables. Memberships are really strong. We're playing Anzac Day in Christchurch. There's a lot of interest down there, and we've got a lot of interest from the general public in New Zealand. So we're looking forward to putting on an amazing experience when you come to Go Media Stadium here in Auckland, and when we play at Apollo Stadium in Christchurch. And our fans expect that, we give that, and they come back in droves. And we're really looking forward to the year ahead, and hopefully that matches up with a successful year on the footy side.
Obviously, some news around Christmas regarding the retirement of Tohu Harris. That follows Sean Johnson's retirement as well. So lots of experience out the door. You guys are on the hunt for a new skipper. I suggested James Fisher-Harris is probably the favourite there, given he captains the Kiwis. Where do you think that will land, Cam?
Webby's working through that process. I had a chat the other day about it. We have any number of decent leaders and good leaders. They all have different attributes, and what that looks like, we'll work it out in the next week or so. But look, we're really comfortable with the leaders we've got around the club, so it won't be it's not a hard decision because we've got so many options, but it is a hard decision in the sense of because we've got so many good leaders that we've got to try and find one or two. So Webby's close to finalising that, and we'll have a chat next week.
Just on Tohu, and you've started the ball rolling on the potential salary cap dispensation because of that injury retirement. Where are things at with the NRL in terms of that?
Yes, we got notified that he has been medically retired. So that allows us, that salary cap relief now. So, we're in a strong position in regards to the cap. But look, that wasn't what it was about. The most important thing was about making sure Tohu and his family were remunerated due to the injury, and he's well looked after. And obviously, the byproduct of that is that we get some relief in the cap, which is great. And we'll just sit on that until we want to spend it. But at this point, we're happy with where we're at.
And just back to James Fisher-Harris, Daniel writes, I trust he is training the house down. You lose Aden Fanua-Blake, you get James Fisher-Harris, this premiership star from Penrith. What has he done that you didn't think you'd get? How has he surprised you, if at all, in this pre-season, Cam?
Look, the thing about it is Webby had coached him, obviously, and worked alongside of him at Penrith. So Webby gave me a great insight into the person we're getting, and obviously the off-field James Fisher-Harris, which a lot of people don't see, and he's just truly a gentleman. His family are here now, and they're just such a lovely young family, and he's so committed to training hard and being professional, and you just see and watch the way he goes about his work. He just inspires others around him to be, carrying out higher standards and the best version of themselves, and he's just very instrumental and influential without saying much. He's not a big talker. He's just an action type person, and just been really impressed. And he's just a really cool guy, and we're just so happy to have him here at the club, and no doubt he'll have a big impact. So our fans will get to see a really good inclusion of a high quality, player and person at our footy club.
And Cam, when it comes to the forwards, I was surprised somewhat to see Zion Ma'u leave the Warriors to join the Bulldogs. When I saw Ma'u play, I thought, geez, the Warriors have got a young prospect there. If I'm going to run at a forward, I'm not picking Zion to run at. Why let him go?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And look, this is the nature of footy, isn't it? I was talking to Webby and Andrew McFadden, our recruitment manager, and he has an opportunity to go to a club that's probably not as roadblocking for him in terms of opportunity into the NRL, and that's something that, is very important for a young player up and coming. And, we've got, any number of young kids coming through our system now, and these are the decisions that we're confronted with having 5 teams sitting underneath the NRL system now with what we've got. So, this is one of many that will happen in the future, no doubt, but, it's a greater opportunity for him at the Bulldogs, and he's going to a good club, and here, there's a lot of stock, so to speak, in front of him, and, it just sort of works for everyone at the moment, and you never know, he could be back one day in the future, but their decisions we're going to have to make a lot more than what we ever have because of the pathway we have now. So it is what it is, and some years it'll work against us and some years it'll work for us. So he's a good young kid, and we wish him all the best.
Matty White had Bulldogs boss Aaron Warburton on the show yesterday, and Aaron said that they're trying to make a push to have players' names on the back of jerseys. Is that something that you guys have explored or would consider as well if that was an opportunity?
No, I prefer to have my sponsor on there, to be honest, from the commercial aspect. I'm not, we're not a club-funded club. We're a privately owned club, and commercial reality for us is very important. And, taking, in our case, One New Zealand off the back to put, Mitch Barnett's name on there, that'll have a financial impact on us. And that's just from my perspective in our circumstance of our club. And he might be in a different situation given they're a club that's got, a massive league club behind them, and that commercial revenue mightn't be as important to them as what it is to me. But, look, innovation's great, but I don't want it to financially burden us as a club.
We're speaking with Warriors CEO Cameron George. Cam, a couple more questions on the text line quickly. Craig says, I'm always entertained by the Warriors crowds and their dress-ups. Is that a club suggestion, or do the fans do that purely by themselves?
Mate, it's just grown over the years. Our fans are passionate. They love it. They get crazy. When we start winning, as you know, it just gets louder and prouder, and they love their colours, and they love dressing up and their signs and all that sort of thing. So, we embrace it. Obviously, we love seeing it, and the crowds just encourage it themselves. And that's one thing. We're very crowd-led here, and very proud of our fan base.
Jet Cleary, how's he going?
He's going good. Jet's been training really well. He's been training a little bit with the senior guys. He's back in the training, with the juniors as well, but he's a good kid. He's developing well, and he's enjoying his time here, and, he's fitted in really well. I think he's, really enjoying being here where, he's born and bred, to be honest.
We've just lost Cam.
He'll be back in a moment, but while we get Cam back on the line, I look here at Dragon Boy New Zealand saying, will Cam George listen to my pitch about a TV show about the Warriors? I reckon the answer would be yes. Cam will do anything to help further the Warriors' cause, and if a TV show about the Warriors has traction, he would be all over
Sean
it.
Johnson hosting it.
Absolutely. Born host.
Star power there.
Matt writes, boys, I'm a Sharks supporter, but I'm excited for the Warriors again this year. I was devastated when Metcalf left the Sharks and feel if he can finally stay injury-free for a season, that will go a long way towards a successful season for the Wars. Let's hope that Metcalf stays fit.
Big fan of Luke Metcalf. We've got Cam George back on the line. Cam, we just had a text message from Matt just talking around Luke Metcalf, and he's a Cronulla fan that was disappointed to see him go. How's his fitness, I guess, initially, and I guess that halves combination, where do you see that ending up?
Look, Luke is going really well. He's training really strong. He's fit. He's ready to go. The thing I love about Luke is his attitude. He's a never-say-die attitude. He wants to be a leader. He wants to get that ball in his hand, and that's what makes those players go from good to really good. And he's going to learn, and he's got a great opportunity this year. Where the halves end up, you're talking to Cameron, not Andrew Webster. So I'll leave that to him, and you can get any scoops from him as you want, mate.
Cam, I think I know the answer to this, but Brisbane Eel writes, are you in favour of a Christchurch team? And if so, I'd assume you'd want the Warriors to be part of the conversation about how that unfolds and how that looks. So talk to us about expansion in New Zealand.
Yeah, great question. Look, I think a second team in New Zealand is going to be awesome for the competition, for the growth of the game, and all sorts of boxes you want to tick commercially and so on. However, in my view, I think there needs to be a 5+ year plan, an investment plan from the NRL into the local competitions in the landscape of New Zealand. So to give you a couple of very high-level quick scenarios, in the school system in New Zealand, rugby league is about 3%, in comparison to where it's played and who it's played, what schools are playing at, compared to, rugby everywhere. It is right through every school system in New Zealand. So we've got to break through that system first and that barrier. We currently fly 6 teams to Australia to play in elite competitions because the competitions here in New Zealand aren't to the level of Q Cup, the New South Wales Cup. So if we're flying 6 teams over, you can only imagine a second team dropped in next year or the year after. It means we're flying 12 teams back and forth every week. That's not cost effective and it's not doing the country that good. So my view is the NRL and other bodies need to invest in the local structure, get that up to a standard where it can sustain elite competitions domestically, and then a second team will be not only ready to go, it'll be very competitive, and it'll be all, it'll all come from within New Zealand, which would be unreal. But at the moment, we just don't have those strong structures in place. But it's going to take a good investment plan from the NRL over time, and then have a second NRL team for sure. It'd be awesome.
And one of the teams you'll be flying over this season is the Warriors NRLW team again, back in the competition with some big name signings. I'm looking forward to seeing how they go. To wrap it up, Pricey asks, can you tell or ask Cameron whether he misses his day as a steward? So your background in racing, do you miss those days, Cam?
No, not really, because I get to have a beer and a punt and a horse these days, not being a steward. So I love my racing industry. It's a great passion, but footy's where it lies now, and I just want to win this premiership. And tell Pricey, whoever it is, come and have a beer at the footy with me one day.
How's the horse going? All right, I hope. Got a name for us?
Yeah, we've got a couple of good ones. We've got a good 2-year-old racing in 2 weeks in a group race called the Bravery Born. I'd watch that one.
Okay. Cam George, great to chat this morning. All the best in Vegas. We wish you and the Warriors every success in 2025. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You know, Michael, doctors say a proper breakfast includes eggs, bacon and breakfast with Vossi and Brandy. So get your daily fix through our socials and listen live on SEN Radio.